couple of weeks ago there'd be a Sprint Cup race coming to Kentucky.
Well, we're really happy about that in the state of Kentucky. We've certainly supported that racetrack as well as any track around the country. Kentucky Speedway has a lot of race fans, and they were rewarded for that by getting a Sprint Cup date.
Sauter just takes 6th away from Eric Almirola. Now Austin Dillon running back in the 8th position.
Mike Skinner, the 5 truck, right behind Austin Dillon in 9th.
Thinking Austin might have a stronger run, and he's had a nice, certainly running around the back of the top 10 is not bad, but we felt like he'd be a lot stronger than that, have a chance to go up there and maybe contend for this win with Kyle Busch.
He was really good early on, had that bit of a miscue on pit road when he slid onto the line. They backed him up, he lost several positions, and he really hasn't been able to get him back. I think he just crept into the top 5, and then after this last restart, he hasn't been able to get back into the top 5.
Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, let's touch on this strategy thing one more time. Obviously, first round of pit stops came at 32. Second round came at 80. If you go 55 from there, that takes you to 135 laps. So, what are you going to do on that final stretch when you know it's a very short run to the finish? If we stay green and go that long, you're not going to have very long to get to the end. So, Todd Bodine wanted to find out in practice. They put a set of right side tires only on this truck and ran 5 laps to let Todd find out what it was like. And in addition to that, they also ran this truck completely out of fuel to know just exactly how much it would pick up. They were all ready to go for this final strategy. The big question, I guess, is do you do 2 tires or do you do none? Adam?
And Ray, a similar conversation being had in regard to strategy for the remainder of this race down here in the 18 camp for Kyle Busch. Rick Wren, the general manager, a great deal of experience atop the pit box. He just talked things over with crew chief Eric Phillips, and I know one of the things they were talking about is the potential of a 2-tire stop. Rick told me they did not experiment with that in practice, but he said you do have to think about it, as important as track position is late in the going here at Chicago.
I think that's a great point, guys. No way I don't think you want to take the time with 15 laps to go to put 4 tires on. It can take about 15 seconds to do that as we watch Austin Dillon go after Eric Almirola for the 7th position. And I think it's really smart by Todd's bunch to try 2 tires in practice and also to run that truck out of fuel to see exactly how much that truck picks up. Now, with the 2 previous pit stops, they know what kind of fuel mileage they get, and they know exactly how much that thing will get out of the tank. That way they can determine exactly to the lap how far they can go.
Yeah, and it's not really that big of a gamble. Todd's got a pretty healthy point lead. He's up running 2nd spot. If he does take 2 and it doesn't work perfectly, how far is he going to fall back? Maybe 3 or 4 spots. I think if they're going to try to win this race, they need to put some pressure on the 18 truck, and a way to put that pressure on, like we're saying, Phil, a splash of gas. 2 tires at the most, but get in the pits and get out in a hurry. Force Kyle to do something different too. Maybe that'll make him get 2 tires as well.
Kyle Busch right now has over a 2nd lead on Todd Bodine. Could strategy come into play? Will we have green flag pit stops? You got to stick around. Get your motor running Thursday night on Speed at 8. Pink's All Out scorches the quarter-mile track in Seattle. Then at 10, it's a high-stakes Ferrari Challenge on Battle of the Supercars presented by Michelin. Thursday night beginning at 8 Eastern on Speed. During the commercial break, the 6 of Ken Butler had a left rear tire go down, but we stayed green. He was able to get down to the apron and get onto pit road. After 116 of the 150 laps, Kyle Busch out front. We've had 5 different drivers up front with 7 lead changes. Our average speed over 138 miles an hour. Just 3 times we've been slowed for caution for 13 laps. Adam Alexander.
Rick, when you're a crew chief for a driver who's dominating a race like Kyle Busch is, you can get pretty uptight worrying about how the race could get away. Kyle Busch just came on the radio. Eric Phillips didn't hear what he said, and he replied really quickly and said, "Did you just say tight, tight?" And Kyle Busch said, "No, I was referring to a move one of the lap trucks made on track." I said, "Nice, very nice." There was laughter on the radio afterward, and Eric Phillips much calmer now than he was before.
I think I'd still be sitting on edge if I had a 1 second lead over Todd Bodine, who's so good on mile-and-a-half racetracks, and you look like you've got the race in hand.
Yeah, and he's not really running off from Todd. Todd's able to keep tracking him, staying in contact with Kyle, and that's going to be key, Phil, if we do happen to run through the next 20 laps and these guys start having to make some decisions on what they're going to do on pit road. Kyle staying in touch Todd staying in touch with Kyle could force Kyle's hand, make those guys do something they don't want to do particularly.
Yeah, and this 1 second gap we have between first and second right now, between Kyle Busch and Todd Bodine, hey, you could lose 3, 4, 5 seconds on pit road fairly easily. So this race could very well be won or lost on pit road here, especially if we have green flag pit stops.
Again, the last caution that came out was on lap 85, so we've gone almost 40 laps since that caution came out.
And all these lead trucks right here pitted back on lap number 80. Remember, they did not pit on that 86, 87 lap caution.
There you can see the gap from first to second. Here's Kyle. 1 lap truck. Ken Butler the third in that Kids Embrace truck. Down on the inside, gets well out of Todd's way, and Todd continues his pursuit.
Todd lost a huge amount of ground that time. He lost a full 0.8 of a second that time. He didn't hit the traffic at the right way and lost 0.8 of a second to Kyle Busch. Now the lead's 2 seconds.
Look at this battle.
To the inside, no room outside of Narain Karthikeyan as we see Timothy Peters have to check up and go to the inside.
There was room out there. Narain didn't know Timothy was heading that direction and about crashed them both.
Ooh, Austin Dillon got a little bit loose, way up in the gray stuff, off with 4.
James Busher was able to go by Narain Karthikeyan in the 31. Take another look at this.
Watch this. Now Hornaday is going to make the move to the inside. That opens the outside for Timothy Peters. He thinks he's going to get 2 for 1 here. Go around Hornaday, go around Narain. Narain shuts the door.
I tell you, if Timothy Peters would have had his nose 2 or 3 feet farther in there, then that would have turned Narain Karthikeyan into the outside wall.
We may have had that caution that people were looking forward to, but now we still are under green flag conditions, and with each lap that clicks off, we get that much closer to green flag pit stops.
And I'm loving that. I'm liking to see what these crews have to do, what kind of decisions they're going to have to make in order to get the victory. Will Todd's team do something that makes them have an advantage over Kyle, or will Kyle's team hold pat?
Now, do you want to be the first one to pit road to force somebody else's hand, or do you want to wait and see what they do as we see a good battle for the 5th position between Austin Dillon and James Busher?
Austin Dillon will have to check up as he goes by that 07 of Tony Jackson Jr. The 7 of Justin Lofton, currently running in the 12th spot.
I think Todd's got to gamble, so I don't think it. I think what I'd like to do if I was Todd, let Kyle pit first if he has enough gas to do so. And if Kyle takes 2 tires or 4 tires, I got to do something. I got to do something different. Just give me a little gas and let me give it a whirl like that. Let's try to pass him in the pit.
On the right side of your screen, you see the 73 of Rick Crawford. He has been trying to stay up in that top 10. Now he's got the 7 of Justin Lofton battling for the 11th spot. Looks like Lofton's going to take it away from him. Adam.
And the last word we heard on the radio for Justin Lofton, his crew chief Mark Rett told him, the tires have looked good all night long. Save fuel. We may try to go to the end. That would be a tall order. They last pitted at lap 81, and now we have problems. Top left of your screen. There's James Busher around.
The 3 got into the 31, the 31 into the wall, and so now it brings out our 4th caution of the night. James Busher trying to get it straightened back out. The 3 got into the 31 and turned it around.
James was able to keep it out of the inside wall,
which was kind of amazing. Did you see how far he slid not to ever hit anything? Needs to make sure he's careful there. He'll have some tires flat, and one of them flies apart.
I think I got some flats, so I found a pit.
Here they go down in turn number 1. Watch Austin. He's going to get loose down here and have to chase the truck up the hill. And when he does, he catches that left rear corner of James's truck. James gets into the outside wall with that right rear corner, but he does keep it off the inside wall.
Slides around in the grass, comes to a stop, fires it back up. Take another look.
Oh, man, Austin just lost control. Look at Austin. He almost catches that outside wall and then doesn't really know which way to go with James sliding along.
That's going to open up the possibilities, I think, with 25 laps to go, Michael, as we watch the onboard. Listen to this now.
Did you hear him using that gas pedal to try to keep that thing from backing up in the outside wall? Look how close he comes to the inside wall.
Keeps it off the inside wall. Here comes Kyle Busch, your race leader. Todd Bodine's right behind him. Adam.
And a number of different conversations going on over the radio, Rick, in regard to 2 tires or 4 tires. And I'm not sure any decisions have been made just yet. Top of your screen.